name's Randy Narveson. I'm the executive chef here at Alta Lakes Golf and Country Club, and today I'm going to be doing a demonstration on making hollandaise. A lot of you are familiar with hollandaise that we put on our eggs Benedict, and sometimes you'll put it on a steak or asparagus. Béarnaise is one of the sauces derived from hollandaise that we put on a filet or on our Chateaubriand. Hollandaise is one of the 5 mother sauces developed in French cooking. So you got hollandaise, tomato sauce, bechamel, velouté, and sauce espagnole, or brown sauce, which it's referred to as well. Hollandaise is an emulsion. It's technically 2 substances that don't quite want to combine. We're combining a protein, which is the egg, and oil, which is the butter, or clarified butter. In making hollandaise, we use clarified butter, which means we're cooking the butter down and removing any impurities from it, such as the milk fats, and there's sometimes some water in there. So right here on the stove, I've already got some butter that I've been melting down, and you want to have it at a little bit of a low heat. Just let it simmer, and it's going to cook away some of those impurities. And I'm not sure if you can see that from here, but some of those impurities will come to the top. And after it cooks for a little while, we'll want to skim some of those impurities off and get rid of them. You can also clarify butter in your microwave at home. It's a little quick way. You can put your butter in a plastic container, cover it, microwave it for a few minutes till it all melts, put it in your refrigerator, let it harden back up again, and all the impurities will be at the bottom, and you can remove your butter and get just pure butter out of that. The reason we use clarified butter a lot is because the impurities in the butter will tend to cause it to burn, so you'll have a little higher smoke point by removing those impurities. And it also removes some of the unwanted salt and whatnot from your butter if you're using salted butter. We use unsalted butter a lot for this kind of process. So anyways, so we've got our clarified butter, which we want to have done ahead of time. So I'm going to put that aside. So I'm going to get a sauce sauté pan here, one that'll fit our bowl on top of, and we're going to get some water in there so it can start boiling while we get the rest of our ingredients together. So we'll do that. Push this aside. So we make our hollandaise here with 6 egg yolks, which I've already got together there, and we want to use 2 tablespoons of white wine. I'm just going to pour a little bit there. We're going to use the juice of half a lemon. Sometimes you want to roll your lemon around and before cutting it, and it helps break those fibers up inside, and you can get a little more juice out of your lemon that way. So squeeze lemon in there. Then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. It's about 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, or if you like, you can also use about 5 or 6 dashes of Tabasco. We're going to put about a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire. Just going to give it a few shakes there. Worcestershire is optional. So we've got those ingredients mixed up there. Get that mixed up. And then I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons of water to that mixture, just to thin it down a little bit. There's several different ways of making hollandaise. You can do it in a blender or a food processor. Some people even choose not to use the water bath. It's a little safer to use this method versus putting it right over direct heat. So that's about the consistency we're looking for. And I'm going to turn this flame down just a little bit. Might have just a tad too much water in there. Alright, so we put that on our boiling water, and we're going to stir this vigorously. And we want to just keep stirring. You don't want it to turn into scrambled eggs, so we're going to get to the stage right before it starts to scramble. Also incorporating a little bit of air in there, which makes it a little bit foamy. So it doesn't take too long. You see it's thickening up there. We're just about there. You'll start seeing it getting thick. If it's starting to just thicken up and almost cook to where it looks like it's starting to scramble, that's about where we want to be with it. So, feel the heat there. Alright. Now, here at Alto Country Club, we have one of these fancy little toys called a stabilizer. You can put your bowl in that. I'm going to wipe the bowl. Or if you don't have one of these, you can take 2 wet towels and we'll make a little ring with the towels, which will hold your bowl in place. Or you can have one of your grandkids or your husband or wife help you hold the bowl while you stir in the butter. Alright, so that's what we got there. So the butter doesn't want to be too hot. This is the clarified butter after we've already got all the impurities out of it. You want your butter to be no hotter than 130 degrees. It's okay if it's 110, 120. If it's too hot, your hollandaise will break. So you want to slowly drizzle the oil in. If you go too fast, it could break as well. You should be able to incorporate about 4 ounces of butter per yolk. Since we started off with 6 yolks, that would be about 24 ounces of butter. Sometimes if you just want a more stable hollandaise where don't want to worry about it breaking on you, sometimes a few more egg yolks to less butter is okay. Once you get your emulsion started, you can start incorporating the butter in there a little faster. In case some of you may not be aware, this is kind of the same process mayonnaise is made. Mayonnaise is made from egg yolks and lemon juice, a little bit of Tabasco, but using vegetable oil or some sort of salad oil instead of butter. It will start getting thicker as you add more butter to it, and if your butter is a little cooler, it'll thicken a little faster. If it gets a little too thick and you feel like you can't incorporate the butter in there, it starts getting a little thicker, you can always add a splash of water, which I'm going to do too, and that'll help thin it down. After you get your emulsion started, you can add just a touch of water, and it's not going to hurt it. Alright. So when you go to a restaurant that's serving about 8 different types of Benedicts, they're probably making 4 gallons of this a day. And think about that guy who has to whisk all this hollandaise together. Be nice to him. I'm just going to slowly add the rest here. I did work at one restaurant in Portland, Oregon actually that had probably about 8 different styles of Benedicts on the menu, and talk about a lot of poached eggs and a lot of hollandaise. So there's some different variations of hollandaise we can make, and I'm going to get into that soon. Got all our butter incorporated in there. Now you want to store this, you can't really store this in a warmer or where it's too cold. It's butter, it'll just solidify on you. So it kind of has to stay out at room temperature. So you only want to have it out for a couple hours, as it is made with raw egg yolks. And I'm going to add just a touch more water to it, thin it down just a touch more. Caesar dressing is another emulsion. I'm sure we'll probably be doing a demo on that here in the near future. Alright, so that's about what I'm looking for. This is great on vegetables, eggs Benedict, and of course we're going to get into making our small sauces. So like I said, this is one of the 5 mother sauces. So when I say that, there's small sauces or baby sauces that are derived from this mother sauce. So that's by adding different ingredients to it and just manipulating it. And so this is what our consistency should look like for just regular straight up hollandaise. Alright, so next we're gonna make béarnaise. Making béarnaise is gonna we're gonna put a tarragon reduction in there. Got some dry tarragon, a couple cups of that. Well, that's probably a cup of tarragon. We're gonna put about a cup of wine, just enough to submerge that. We have some diced shallots, which are like a milder red onion. You can use tarragon vinegar, peppercorns. We're just going to put a little white vinegar in this one today. So we'll just want to simmer that until the tarragon absorbs all that wine, and the wine reduces to what we call sec. And that means most all your liquids evaporated. So we're just kind of gonna cook that and let it hydrate those herbs. When it's done, it should look like this. And so this is our tarragon reduction, we call it. So we usually have some of this around when we're making béarnaise for you for your steak, and just add a little bit of that to or as much as you like. I like a little bit more of that in my béarnaise. And the tarragon has a slight vinegar or anise-like flavor, and that is making béarnaise. Another sauce I like to make from this is called sauce Chiron. Sauce Chiron actually is hollandaise with just a tomato puree or some sort of a tomato product in it, but I actually like to add the tomato paste to my béarnaise. So maybe a tablespoon of that, or as much as you like. Some of this stuff is all about taste and what you like. So you can always add a little bit more if you want, and give it a little more body and depth. You could do green chili hollandaise. I do a red Thai curry hollandaise. It goes well with crab cakes, or even if you want to put a poached egg on crab cakes. So this is our tarragon reduction. It's going to take a few minutes to reduce all that wine out of there. Let's see. Anyways, that's how we make hollandaise here at Alto Lakes, and just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from our home to yours. Cheers.